Today in Public Eye News, the Supreme Court fights with Michigan in the shutdown of an aging energy pipeline, an update on the Sheboygan Dam, and some on the history of Earth Day.
Evelyn Rozier will give you your weather forecast, where she'll take a look at conditions for today and days to come. And Luke Niddle will give you your sports breakdown. I'm Maggie Franzen.
And I'm Bianca Kroll, and this is Public Eye News. The Supreme Court has sided with Michigan, ruling in the state's lawsuit to shut down a section of an aging pipeline. Justice Sonia Sotomayor wrote in a unanimous court that the company Enbridge Energy has waited too long to try to move the case to federal court. This case is part with a messy legal dispute with the pipeline that has been moving crude oil and natural gas liquids between Superior, Wisconsin, and San Antonio since 1953. Attorney General Dana Nessel had sued in state court in June 2019, seeking to void the easement that allows Enbridge to operate. The company had moved the case in 2020 and 2021 and argued it affects U.S. and Canadian trade. At the time of this story, the case is still pending on how they can move forward and need approval. And the Michigan Department of Natural Resources is helping out to clear debris from the Sheboygan Dam. From recent snowmelt and rainfall, debris has made its way into the water and caused a blockade for the water to flow. The DNR staff, along with contractors, have been manually removing woody and other anchored debris from the dam gates. Long-handled rakes, heavy machinery, and 2 marine vessels are being used to clear the debris and keep water moving. The marine vessel is being used to remove the logs, other vegetation, and break up the ice in Mullet Lake. Sheboygan County is also monitoring the situation and using the Ready, Set, Go system to get residents informed to potentially be ready to evacuate when necessary.
A new push for cleaner industry is now underway in Michigan. Governor Gretchen Whitmer has officially announced a $1.8 million grant competition. Focused on cutting industrial emissions, the initiative has been named Go Big, Go Clean and focuses on helping companies plan and produce new and efficient ways to operate in the ever-changing global market. The program will fund feasibility studies to help manufacturers identify cost-effective ways to cut out greenhouse emissions while still staying competitive. The funding will support detailed planning and analysis for facilities across the state. Applications are now open with a key deadline set for May 19th, yet another step towards Michigan's goal to reach carbon neutrality by 2050. Keeping things on a green note, today marks Earth Day, a celebration recognized by millions worldwide to reflect on the future of our planet. The idea for Earth Day dates back to the 1970s during a time of rising concern over pollution and the environment that sparked a collective global push to preserve our planet. This year, the state of Michigan has an extra reason for celebrating Earth Day, as it is the 5th year in a row the state has set a new record in recycling. Michiganders increased their recycling to a whopping 800,940 tons. This equates to nearly each person in Michigan recycling nearly 158 pounds of recyclable materials within the past calendar year. Yet another tally to add to the development of Michigan's Healthy Climate Plan. Be sure you take to the outdoors today to celebrate, and feel free to pick up a piece of trash or two while you're at it. At the Lydia M. Olson Library opened up this January, staff opened up creative freedom for students to aid in making the library a more comfortable space. After weeks of hard work, the project is wrapping up. Public Eye News' Evelyn Rozier has more.
The Library Mural Committee was created by an NMU student, Van Squire, as part of their community service internship for the Student Leader Fellowship Program.
Deciding to do a mural came in the middle of the semester when I was walking up campus, and I looked through the windows and I saw those walls. I remember seeing them and my thoughts being, that space, it needs a mural. It needs to have some color in it.
After intense planning and preparation, Van proposed the idea for the mural to the dean of the library in December, hoping to make the new library more inviting and comfortable for students.
Having it be collaborative is so beneficial because it gives the students an opportunity to feel connected with this new space. This is something that they're unfamiliar with, and it's a new environment. Many students had an old library that maybe they liked better, or they never had a library properly during their time at NMU.
Presley Wyatt, a political science and pre-law major at NMU, is the secretary of the Library Mural Committee. She helps with organizing plans and meetings of the club.
I've had such a good time getting involved in this. I think just getting color in the library is really nice. And just the mural itself, I think, is sort of a visual representation of like the passion that students have on this campus, and seeing everyone come together and just do their part voluntarily, it's amazing.
Over 300 students voted on the 7 designs that were submitted for a chance to become a mural. The theme was to paint your happy place, and the piece that was most voted for was designed by Sydney Kuipers, a graphic design and ecology student here at NMU. Whether it was one brushstroke or a whole section, over 60 students, faculty, and community members took part in painting this mural. It will be on display for years to come as the first of hopefully many new murals by the Library Mural Committee. For Public Eye News, I'm Evelyn Rozier.
And don't touch that dial. We'll be back with your weather and statewide news after this break.
The library.
The estate was drenched in chemicals. And so we started this extraordinary experiment.
Feels like you're moving back in time.
We can bring back life where there was no life before. It's the stuff of fairy tales in a way.
Welcome back to Public Eye News. I'm Evelyn Rozier, here with your Public Eye Weather Report. Starting off on the campus roof cam, it looks amazing out there, the perfect day. There's some people down there laying in the grass, which we haven't seen in a long time. That's exciting. And looking over the entire map, it seems to be a perfect day everywhere with sun across the board and high temperatures throughout. Starting off in Houghton, it is 60 degrees, Ironwood a whopping 70 degrees, and in Iron Mountain it is 65, Menominee it is 59. Moving on to the other side of the map, we have Escanaba sitting at 61 with the pure sun continuing, Manistique 55, Sault Ste. Marie 58, and back home in Marquette, it is 63 degrees and pure sun. Looking currently into the more conditions, and the winds coming from the southeast at a nice 2 miles per hour, and the barometric pressure is 30.01 inches and falling. Tonight it is going to be a little bit cloudy, but the low is sitting at 43, which is nice. Winds coming from the east at 5 to 10 miles per hour, and the moon phase is a waxing crescent. Tomorrow it will be partly sunny, a little more clouds, but the sun will still be out. A high of 62, a low of 48 degrees, and the winds coming from the south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Later this week, the nice high temperatures are staying with the sun mostly peeking out throughout. Friday, a high of 55 and a low of 2, mostly cloudy with a little bit of sun. Saturday, a high of 51, a low of 37 with mostly sunny skies. Sunday, 54 and a low of 42. The sun is peeking out again. And that's all I have for the weather. Back to the desk.
Well, thank you, Evan, for that weather update. Looks like spring is really starting to set into Marquette. Now moving on to our statewide news. Attorney General Dana Nessel has reissued a consumer alert about gift card scams. Nessel is urging consumers to be cautious when someone claiming to represent a government agency, utility company, tech support, and even those posing as friends or family in need are asking for payment using a gift card. These scammers can use methods such as law enforcement, tech issues, family emergencies, charity scams, utility imposter, debt collection, sweepstake, and Social Security benefits or IRS tax scams. Once this money is loaded on a gift card and the numbers are provided, the transactions cannot be reversed. If you have purchased a gift card and shared it with scammers, you can report the scam to the gift card issuer, request a refund, and report the scam to authorities. To avoid these scams, never use gift cards to pay debts, be skeptical of urgent requests, verify claims independently, and be cautious online with phone interactions. And West Michigan stakeholders and several state leaders are meeting to discuss how to help residents maintain their health care, food assistance, and unemployment benefits. Governor Gretchen Whitmer set out an executive budget that has $30 million to help with Medicaid, SNAP, and unemployment recipients to maintain their benefits and meet new federal work requirements. State Budget Director Jen Flood said that Whitmer and her administration are working hard to keep families with continued access to health care and food assistance that is needed. This comes from the uncertainty caused by tariffs, deep federal cuts to Medicaid and SNAP, budget lower costs, protects access to health care, and makes other key investments to help more families live to work and live in Michigan. And this morning, Iranian media confirms the Revolutionary Guard was behind attacks on 3 ships in the Strait of Hormuz. This, just hours after President Trump indefinitely extended the ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran. CBS News' Jared Hill has more from New York.
New uncertainty about the war with Iran after President Trump announced he was extending the fragile ceasefire, calling Iran's government seriously fractured, adding Pakistan asked him to hold our attack until Iran can come up with a unified proposal.
I expect to be bombing.
The president sent mixed messaging on CNBC hours earlier Tuesday morning, threatening more attacks if Iran didn't come back to the negotiating table.
I think we're in a very strong negotiating position.
Democrats on Capitol Hill slammed the president's approach.
Everyone seems to think that Trump has some sort of mad genius to what he's doing. Seems to me like he's just an arrogant egotist popping off in ways that aren't well thought out.
Vice President J.D. Vance's trip to Islamabad is on hold, with Iran not committing to another round of talks. At issue, the U.S. military's blockade of the Strait of Hormuz, which Iran has called an act of war and thus a violation of the ceasefire. The president has vowed not to open the strait until there's a final deal. 2 days after the U.S. seized an Iranian cargo ship, the Pentagon released this video showing service members boarding an oil tanker in the Indian Ocean that was suspected of transporting sanctioned Iranian oil. Overnight in Tehran, a ballistic missile appeared to be on display at a demonstration. Iran's military leaders have vowed to strike back if the U.S. and Israel resume attacks. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Now don't touch that dial. Our very own Luke Niddle will be back with today's sports breakdown.
Each of us has built our own current with our own direction. And while our wakes may drift apart after today, they all started in the same place, in the waters of Northern Michigan University.
Watch Northern Michigan University's 2026 Spring Commencement, Saturday, May 2nd at 10:30 a.m. here on WNMU TV.
Welcome back to Public Eye Sports. My name is Luke Niddle, and I'll be taking you through our Wednesday breakdown. Leading off between the baskets, the NBA playoffs are in full swing in the state of Michigan, as Game 2 of the first round between the Pistons and the Orlando Magic tips off tonight. Still at the LCA for Game Dos of the series, the 3-1-3 looks to avenge a Game 1 upset at home court to even the series at 1 apiece. The opening game win for the Magic gave the squad their first Game 1 dub in a playoff series since the opening round of the 2019-2020 playoffs against the Bucks, though they would proceed to drop the next 4 against Milwaukee in that series. If Orlando can pull off the double shocker, it would mark their first time winning the first 2 games of series since a sweep of the then Charlotte Bobcats in the 2009-10 season. For the Pistons, their last time winning a series after dropping the opener came in the 07-08 offs against the Sixers. Tip-off tonight is slated for 7 p.m. Chugging along in downtown Detroit, the Tigers as well look to avenge a Game 1 loss, this time at the hands of the Milwaukee Brewers in a 12-4 decision last night. The bats were hot for the Brew Crew, scoring 8 runs in the 7th inning to put the game away. The Gritty Tigs rotated through the bullpen, keeping Tarek Skubal off the bump in exchange for Game 2 tonight, as Keter Montero and Emmanuel De Jesus combined for 8 earned runs through 7 innings. As mentioned, Skubal will be getting the nod for Detroit tonight and will duel with Chad Patrick of the Brewers. Patrick boasts a 1-0 record through 4 appearances for the 4-1-4 and will make his 4th start of the season for Milwaukee tonight. First pitch is scheduled for 6:40 p.m. Circling back to the UP, the annual Wildcat Awards took place last night, and many a hardware was handed out. Noah Dobert took home the individual record-breaking performance award, setting the single game and season rushing record for the Wildcats en route to a second-team All-American nomination. Dobert also took home Player of the Year award for his 2-point conversion to give the Wildcats a quadruple overtime win against Davenport. The men's basketball team took home the team record-breaking award, whose 28 total wins in a season set a program record, with the GLIAC regular season title to boot. Josie Lukoski took home the female MVP award, who looms over a possible mind-boggling 100-goal season for the lacrosse team. Dylan Keel earned male MVP honors, earning first-team All-American and finishing second all-time on the scoring list for the Cats in his final season. That's all I have for sports. Back to the desk.
Well, thank you, Luke, for that sports update, and that's all the time we have at Public Eye News. I'm Bianca Kroll.
And I'm Maggie Franzen.
And have a happy Earth Day.
The preceding program was produced by WNMU TV, Northern Michigan University Public Television, in studios located in Elizabeth and Edgar Hardin Hall.